All right. Oh, you know, that's terrible. You can't even see because of the screen. RF1 has joined. Welcome. Nancy BB, Shumu. I used to have a cat named Shamu. Yes, named for the killer whale. Pinnacle Glass, Stephanie. Hello. Xavier Black. Hi, Xavier. Ms. Gentle has joined. Look at all the people who have joined. Just because I said announcement. Hi, Nadine. Nice to have you here. My name is Bob. Okay, so the reason I'm walking around is because this is so last second, it's crazy. I was working on something, I'm looking at the clock, I'm going, I don't even have time to come up with an idea, let alone type it in, and then my phone locked up. Hi, ND Colleen. And Rob has joined us, Shatter85. Hi, Sweary Fairy. You changed your name. But I like Sweary Fairy. Hey, Joe from ATL. You know, I'm from ATL. Okay, so anyway, this was so last minute, and I've got to make coffee. So that's why I think it said coffee in the title, because I'm just going to make a coffee real quick, and then I'll sit down, and then we'll discuss things. So how is everyone? Hi, Denise. Nice to have you here. How's Portland? You know, we've got Portland-like weather right now. The opening screen, poor connection. Well, I'll move into another room in a second. Yeah, we've got rain here in Marina del Rey, California, which is very rare. And it's cold, which, you know, happens sometimes. But, yeah, it feels very Portlandish. Portlandic? Is that the word? I don't know. And look, I know these glasses are like wonky and they're bent on my face and, you know, they're really, really old. I think, honestly, I don't even remember if these are readers or prescription. So just killing time here while I make my coffee. And then I just now realized, just this moment, that I think I'm out of half and half. Or I have just a little bit. Isn't this fun? I know this is what you expected, right? You expected to see me walk around in my kitchen to make coffee? That's what, I think that's why most people come to a Law of Attraction Periscope. Hey, Jim. Coffee is right. You can hear it going in the background. I tapped the screen and it didn't spin, and I've decided that that's divine order, because if I did, all you would see is my Keurig, and then all of you who are like, Keurig? The landfills, the earth, what's wrong with you? And then we'd start a whole thing, which isn't at all what I came here to talk about, announcement or otherwise. So sorry, this is just taking a couple of minutes. Thanks for bearing with me here on the LOA Scope. For those of you who don't know me, I think you all know me. Why would you be here? But my name is Bob Doyle, and I was a feature teacher in a film called The Secret a few years ago. It's weird to think just how many years ago it was. But, and I've been teaching Law of Attraction principles. Hi, Rhonda. Nice to have you back today. Oh, I used the wrong sugar, too. I'm just not focused. It's a film about the Law of Attraction, how to create your life by design. I don't know what Chimex is. Okay, hopefully that will be enough to give me the flavor I want. Now we're going to go back into the office / studio / Magic Kingdom, and I'm going to put you on a proper, you know, tripod thing, and hope that in doing so I don't cut you all off, because it's nice to have you here. Hold on, here we go. You don't know what half and half is. It's like a cream. Okay, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Law of Attraction Periscope. Yeah, I can't. It's too early. I gotta drive. That's a reference for anyone of you, and I would guess that maybe Thomas and Stephanie would know the National Lampoon bit I was referring to. Okay, these are really crooked glasses. All right, so anyway, welcome to the Law of Attraction Scope that I'm trying to do every day this week. And here's the reason. A lot of it comes down to the reason this announcement. This is kind of an atypical scope, and I admit it. There may be a lesson or two that squeaks out, but I wanted to let you guys, if you joined me yesterday at the very end, I was talking about how, Melanie, nice to have you here. I was talking about how I'm just getting ready to launch my certification program again. This will be the second round of certifying coaches in Law of Attraction, yes, but specifically how we teach it here at Boundless Living. You know, one of the reasons that I was chosen for The Secret, I believe, was because I do have something of a unique way of approaching the Law of Attraction in terms of explaining it. And I think that's, I don't know, that's the power of my work, I suppose. So, so what I've been wanting to do, obviously, is duplicate myself get out there in the world bigger. I've been, asked for years about languages. Do you teach, do you have your materials in this? Well, it's nice to have you here, Melanie, for the quick hello or otherwise. Beautiful scope this morning. Big fan of tapping with affirmations. So you all follow Melanie Bundock. I've told you that 1,000 times. Would I have to come to your house and say, hey, come on, let's open your phone, Periscope, search at Melanie Bundock, just follow. Okay? Easy peasy. Okay, so anyway, I've been wanting to duplicate myself in various ways and translating. I've got books translated in other languages, but I've got so much material that translating it all isn't the answer. So I figured duplicating myself, and the best way to do that was to certify a bunch of coaches and trainers and speakers, or people who just don't have any of that experience but just want to get an in-depth knowledge of the law of attraction to the extent that they could actually coach somebody. But of course, in the process of going through that certification, you are immersed in living these principles for the entire 6-month period. 6 months, that's right. And actually, when we did it before, it went a little over that for various reasons, because life occurs and we go with the flow. So it's a really fun experience. This last round was more powerful than any one of us knew, and I know that sounds cliche, but you can ask them. You can actually go to the Facebook group where all those coaches are hanging out now. It's facebook.com/Boundless Living Coaching, and you can interact with them. All those coaches there were part of the certification program. And so what you get basically at the end of that is the ability to say that you are a boundless living or wealth beyond reason coach, and that ties you into Bob Doyle, The Secret. I mean, not The Secret officially, you know what I'm saying, but Bob Doyle from The Secret, however you want to do it. And by the way, it took me literally years to decide to do the certification program, because I had this thing about putting my name on it, not because I was scared about it, because it was like, who am I to put my name on stuff? I felt weird about it. But now I'm realizing over the course of time that because of what The Secret was in the world, that is going to help the coaches who are certified. So anyway, so what you get as a part of the certification, in addition to the other name, not sure what you mean, what you get in addition to the certification, of course, and the ability to, put your certification logo on whatever you market, is access to all of our Boundless Living programs. That's the Wealth Beyond Reason program, the Reinvention program, all of our meditations, our in-depth science behind The Secret, because I want all of my coaches to know our material clearly, because that's kind of where they'll be drawing a lot of their coaching material from, if they want. Now, some of the people who went through the program last time were already coaches, and some were not. Some are going on to use their certification to coach people, and others are not. They just wanted to have the experience. Maybe they came in thinking, maybe I'd like to be a coach, but at the end, okay. So let me just stop in the middle, and I can point you to wbrcertification.com. And that's where you can get information on it. But I'm not really expecting anybody to jump from this Periscope and invest in the certification unless they just know that's something they want to do. Tomorrow at 3 p.m., is it tomorrow? Yes, tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific time, I'm doing a live presentation, webinar, whatever, to explain, wbrcertification.com, to explain the whole program. Talk you through exactly what we're going to do, what's included, what you can expect, how it's going to work, just everything, and then answer your questions live. So it's a live presentation. So I'll be there with my little PowerPoint presentation that you saw me working on yesterday, and I'll go through there, and then we'll have. Now it won't be a Periscope. I have to use like a webinar service, so I can take your questions more interactively, show my PowerPoint and all that stuff, so it's nice and big. Because Periscope, it would be crazy small. So the way to get registered for that and be on there, and I would love it if you have a community who is interested in law of attraction, or a community that are coaches or are looking to, create a new revenue stream. If you would share this with folks, you could share, I love Chloe. I think I'm going to see her next time I'm in Atlanta. I hope to. Answer your questions, blah, blah, blah. But I just can't read that stuff. So the point is that when you go to wbrcertification.com, at the very bottom of the page, there is says something like, do you have questions about certification? Register for our free our presentation, tomorrow. And then that way you can get a link to the presentation tomorrow at 3 and join and ask questions. If the time doesn't work for you, it will be recorded, there will be a replay, and there'll be a section on that page where you can type in questions and I can email the answers to you afterward. So either way, you should be able to get your questions answered. There are benefits for being there on the certification webinar, which I will extend on the replay as well for a little while, and that's basically in the form of a 20% discount coupon code for to join. So just throwing that out there. Anywho, and if anybody, I'm going to tell you what this coupon code is right now, okay? Because I don't want you, if you're ready to go, I don't want you to have to wait and all that other stuff. Wait till the whole end of the thing to get this coupon code. So if you want to write this down for future reference or just whatever you can, it's very simple. It's the word cert me, like as in certify me. So it's capital C, capital E, capital R, capital T, capital M, capital E. So you don't have to remember that right now because I do say it at the end of the webinar. And it's just a way for you to save if you decide that this is for you. It isn't something I want you to take. Yes, thank you, Tammy. It isn't something I want you to take lightly. I don't expect the majority of people to jump on this because it is a commitment, both financial and time-wise. And it involves calls and getting into a private Facebook group. And by the way, that's where the power is. That was, I've always known the power of Facebook groups, but in this particular case, it was another just unbelievable. That's where everybody communicated. I wasn't even sending email to folks anymore. It was all happening in Facebook, and everybody sharing their stories, supporting each other. It's the sense of community, and you can ask any of these coaches if this isn't true. The community that was created among those coaches, the bonds and the friendships, it's unbelievable. I supported them, but they also supported me. During the course of that year, it turned out to be, so much stuff came up for all of us, where we're taking on something huge in the form of a grand vision of perhaps, sharing our value with the world, creating a new business, just deepening our understanding, whatever your purposes for getting that in that depth of training are, where I got derailed. But anyway, I'm sure what I was going to say was amazing. Oh yeah, lots of stuff came up. So when you're pushing, thank you so much. When you're really so committed to a vision that is outside of your comfort zone, then yes, all of your resistance comes up. Life shows up in a really hilarious way. Ha 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 ha. Not always laughing though. So yeah, there was lots of stuff that came up for everybody. And that's fine. Like we had people who had to just kind of drop out for a few weeks. Just couldn't, their life had to be tended to. And I get that. So it's totally flexible in that way. So I don't want you to think that, I don't have time for it or whatever. So time doesn't need to be an issue. It is theoretically a 6-month program, and that means that it's going to be over the course of 6 months that I roll out the modules and we have the calls specific to that. You don't have to finish in 6 months. You finish when you finish, but it's 6 months, the program itself is. Now, I would, of course, recommend that everybody, stay on track so that everyone's on the same page, can support each other through the modules. But if life shows up, and you can't play for a while, that's totally fine, and we're great to help you catch up. So, and that happened. It happened to me. There were times when I dropped out. So, it's a real honest program. And we do the real work. So it's really, really cool. The calls are, every call we do, we use a technology called Zoom. You may know it, you may not. But it's think Blab, but with more screens and screen sharing and all sorts of interactive stuff. But that's how we do our meetings. And all of those meetings everybody has video, and we record the whole thing, and then everybody gets a copy of the video afterward. So it's live Q&A, it's coaching points, whatever needs. Those calls are really to support the learning that's taking place through the modules themselves as they go out. And every module has assignments, and you post your assignments on the Facebook group, which is really, really cool. Privacy, by the way, is extremely guarded and secure. It's a private Facebook group, so nothing that, because we are talking about our lives in here. You only share to the extent that you want to, but of course, the more that you put yourself out there, and create vulnerability for yourself, the more growth you're likely to have. But in any case, you ease into comfort there. There's no one's going to require you to divulge a bunch of personal information. And if I ever do an assignment where the information that I'm asking for is far too personal, all you got to do is just tell me, and you can turn it in a different way. That's fine. The only discomfort I want you to feel in the program is that of extreme growth. And then we're all here to support you throughout that. And believe me, the support's crazy. So what we've got now is we've created a whole new Facebook group for this round. There's another certification group that is closed that is only for that first round. But some of those first round coaches have volunteered to jump into the new group to act as sort of mentors or whatever. Just be there at your service. That's the kind of people they are. One more sip of coffee. Well, actually, I have more, but just if you will, excuse me. So anyway, that's about it. WBRcertification.com. Check it out. And if you're just have any questions at all about it, if you're just mildly curious, I mean, obviously, signing up to go to that training or watching the replay of it or whatever is no obligation whatsoever. You can ask me any follow-up questions. And it's one of those things where I really want it to be a strong yes, because there's some pretty rigid parameters around like changing your mind afterward, right? So you really have to be clear. And so it's not about like, I just want as many people in there as I can, although I do have a goal to train 100 coaches. And so I've got 18 certified right now. A couple more of them are, just still finishing up or whatever. So I got 80 more to go. 80 something before I reach my goal of duplicating myself 100 times. And I'm looking for people who don't speak English, Well, they do speak English, but also speak another language. The course would be pretty useless if you don't speak English because, as you can clearly see, English is my first language and only language, which is going to be really in my face the day after tomorrow when I go to Russia for 3 days. Okay, you're bilingual? Okay, so anywho, that's really it. That was like the announcement. And it's just, I guess, an invitation to look at, as you're looking at your year and you're thinking about what else could I do? How else could I put myself out there? What's a fun, unique, whatever that I might explore? Or if you're a real law of attraction junkie or whatever, and you really want to get an in-depth, immersion, experiential, fully supported, unbelievable amount of my time kind of training and mentoring and the whole thing, then that's another reason to do it. Whether or not you ever intend to do anything with it professionally, it really doesn't matter. It's just another great way to get a deep education. Does anybody have any question about that before I meander on? I got a lot to do today and tomorrow before going to Russia. Where, by the way, as I mentioned yesterday, if you were on, it will be a high of 10 degrees. But then Lynn always jumps in because you're going to be in a hotel. That's not really her voice, by the way. I cannot do her voice. It's just too lovely, isn't it? Okay, well, I will be scoping again tomorrow, and that it is cold, yes. I will be scoping again tomorrow, and while I will do a reminder of the call that will be happening tomorrow afternoon, the whole scope won't be about just, promoting that, but I will mention it. Tomorrow, I promise I'll have a topic that will change your world. If I could just think of one. Now, see, that would be a great time for the video just to stop. But see, I don't have a producer to go up there and drag the thing down and hit stop. Helped yesterday, helped me not give up on love. That's great. I'm glad yesterday's helped. I really had a good time with that one. If you didn't see yesterday's scope, you could catch it on the replay. Well, you can't now, but you can catch it on catch.me/Bob Doyle Secret if you'd like, or bobdoyleshow.com, or probably on my Facebook page. It goes everywhere when I'm done with it. All right. You all have a wonderful afternoon. I would love to interact with you on the training tomorrow if that's something that calls to you. Otherwise, I will talk to you tomorrow on the Periscope.